About to leave, already packing. Come with me, I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be, life with no distractions. We'll get away, this is what we waited for.
Assalamualaikum. My name is FATIN binti Muhammad HANIF from Faculty Sports Science and Recreation. I am from SR111 and my student ID is 201929C818. I am from semester 4 and also from RSR1114B. So today I will review a topic about backpacking. I am pretty sure you will gain a lot of new knowledge after you hear my explanation. So let's start. So, before we start, firstly, all you need to know is backpacking is a recreational activity of hiking or camping while carrying clothing, food and camping equipment in a pack on the back. Originally, in the early 20th century, backpacking was practiced in the wilderness as a means of getting to areas inaccessible by a car or by day hike. It demands physical conditioning and practice, knowledge of camping and survival techniques, and selection of equipment of a minimum weight consistent with safety and comfort. Nowadays, modern materials have revolutionized backpack construction, utility and capacity. The earliest packs were made from canvas which, while strong and durable, added considerable weight for the backpacker to manage and lack resistance to the elements. Today's packs are constructed of nylon or similar lightweight materials and are usually at least partially waterproof. So before you go for a camping or hiking, all you need to do is prepare the equipment that you will use. In the next slides, I will show you all the important equipment that you need to bring. We will start with camping essentials. This is the basics or the must-have you need for any camping trip. First of all, a tent. They come in lots of size and a good rule of thumb is to aim for a tent that sleeps 1 or 2 people more than you need. Next, tent packs. You will get some with your tent and don't forget to take them. Sleeping bags is for everyone who is camping. It gets pretty chill at night even in summer. A sleeping mat, air bed or camp bed for each person. Air beds are cheap and comfortable, so a good place to start. And the next one is pillows. Easy to forget but make a huge difference to a good night's sleep. Bean bags are used to keep the tent clean and tidy. Camping stove can use to cook your meals, and don't forget to take the correct type of food as well. The next one is cooking pans and cutlery. Function of jerry can is you don't have to go to the side tap every time you need water. Camping chairs, and the last one, torch, is used to lighting the tent in the evening and any nighttime trips to the low. The next one is optional extra. You can use tent footprint to protect the underside of your tent by adding a layer between the tent and the ground. Next, camping table you can use for meal times or late night card games. The function of electric hook-up. If your pitch has electric power, then you will need a mobile mains kit to connect to it safely. The next one is camping toilet. It is ideal for when you really don't want to leave the tent during the night. Cupboards and storage can help to keep your tent tidy, and a windbreak to create a bit of privacy and shelter. Next, tools and repair. This is a useful item for any camper, and this should not be overlooked. The first one is mallet, is to help put the packs in, especially on stony ground. The next one is duct tape. It is a lifesaver when it comes to simple, on-the-go repairs. The next one is tent repair kit. Brush can help to keep debris out of your tent and to brush down the bottom of the tent when packing away. HANIF is good because it also has pliers. And the last one is guideline or string. It's useful for binding, adding extra guidelines in bad weather or as a washing line. The next one is camping kitchen. Don't forget to bring gas for your stove, cleaning equipment which is sponge, kettle, tableware, tin opener, bottle opener, match or lighter, and wet wipes or clothes for easy and quick cleaning. And this is for your health and safety. Don't forget to bring a first aid kit, sun cream, antibacterial hand wash, insect repellent, and toilet roll. And the last one is clothes. It is important for you to know what types of clothes that you want to bring for a camping. All you need to bring is waterproof material such as jackets, trousers or umbrellas, something clean and dry to sleep in, woolly hat, glove and sun hat, which is layers of clothing, suitable footwear, and don't forget to spare underwear and socks. Lightweight and quick drying materials like nylon are best for an active camping. And don't bring cotton and denim because it takes a long time to dry after getting wet. And don't forget to bring your sun protection after sun and sunglasses. So for the next one is, I will show you how to fold clothes by using army rule method.
So we're going to start with the shirt. So lay your shirt down on a table or on the floor, wherever you are, and then fold the bottom of the shirt inside out for about an inch, maybe an inch and a half. So now what you're going to do is you're going to fold the sleeves in. Then you're going to fold your shirt in half, bring that sleeve to the middle, and then the other side you're going to fold that over as well. And then you're going to flip it around, make sure that your fold is still equal on both sides, and then you're going to start rolling. And you're going to want to roll it as tight as you can, and make sure if you see any wrinkles forming, just kind of move those out of the way. Just kind of work them out as the roll keeps going, and make it nice and tight. And then do that all the way until you get to the very end. All right. So now that we're at our end, we have a nice roll here. And as you can tell, you got a little pouch here, and fold that over. And make that nice and tight and kind of work its way around. It should go around about half the way. And the coil inside should be covered by the sides of that pouch. And there you go. That is an army roll that is not going anywhere. And you can do this with all of your clothing. I'm going to show you how to do your pants next. So pants are virtually the same thing. They just require 2 folds instead of 3. So again, what you're going to do is you're going to want to start off by doing up the zipper and doing up your button. And then once you got that, you're going to do your fold again. So you're going to fold at the waist, and this one maybe have a little bit more than an inch. Maybe go, maybe to be safe, go 2 inches. And keep in mind when you're working with less elastic material, it's going to be a little bit harder to do the Ranger roll, but it's still possible. So again, with the pants here, I have my fold at the top. Then I'm going to straighten everything out, make sure that there's no big wrinkles or big folds in it. Once I have that, I'm going to fold just in half. Pant leg over pant leg. So then, like usual, you start rolling and you keep it really tight. So again, we've made it to the very top, and we have this little pouch here. We're going to pull that pouch around and enclose the roll that we just did. And remember that this is a little bit harder if your clothing is not elastic. Alright, so here is our coat. So again, what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that the zipper is all the way done up. And what I tend to do with this is if you have a hood, I am going to tuck it in just so everything, it's just a little neater. So now you have your arms. What you're going to do with your arms, you're going to bring the ends all the way up to the shoulder, and then you're going to fold those down. And you can do this with any kind of coat. This is a down coat, so you don't want to keep it down, any kind of down garment really, in a tight compact position for too long. You kind of want to let it air out. But if you're traveling, this is a good way to do it. So we're going to fold it over into the middle, one side, and then the other side, fold that side in. And then, again, we start rolling. And there we go. There's the army roll for the down jacket here. So this underwear is a little bit easier to fold than my pants were because it's stretchy, so I'm going to do my 3 folds on this here. And roll it up. There we go. That's my underwear. And finally, we are going to ranger roll our socks. So what we're going to do with socks are we're going to lay them on top of each other. One is just a little bit lower than the other. So you have a little bit of room right there. And then you're going to start rolling from the bottom. You're going to roll them together. So, like always, we got to the end, and the sock on the bottom acts as the pouch. So there we go. There is our socks.
The first step before you pack your backpack is to lay out all of your gear, see if you can cut anything out, then organize your stuff into piles, which is shelter or sleeping, clothes, food, cooking gear, and small stuff that you need to access during the day. The benefits of getting organized before you put everything in your backpack is it will allow you to go through your backpacking checklist and make sure you haven't forgot anything. Second, it will prevent you from walking around and grabbing random extra items that you don't really need. A good rule to follow when you pack your backpack for camping and hiking is to pack in 3 parts, which is bottom, middle, and top. Always pack the bottom first, balance the load by keeping heavy things in the center, and stash your essentials for the trail on top. For the bottom, this section is reserved for things you won't need until you get to camp. Anything big, bulky, and relatively squishable that can be compressed into the bottom of your pack goes here. Next, the middle section of your pack is designed for heavyweight items. By placing cumbersome things in the center and as close to your bag as possible, you relieve your bag of unnecessary stress. And the last one is, the top of your backpack includes the uppermost portion inside the pack and the brain, the part that's on top when you close your pack. It's typically a zipper compartment that can be removed and used as a day pack when you hike.
Some people also choose to put their sleep clothes towards the bottom, and some packs are going to have a whole separate compartment for this. Let's go ahead and load it up. Sweet. So now that I have my sleeping system on the bottom of my pack, we're going to work on the middle of my pack. So the middle is a good spot to carry all those heavier, bulkier items because that's where they're going to feel lightest on your back. It's basically a good center point for your back, and so by putting those items in that middle section there, you create the most strength within your pack without having it be painful on your shoulders or on your low back. So for me, those heavier items are going to be my bear canister, just full of food, and then my cook kit and stove and pot, my water filter, and as well as my bowl. I also like to take my extra clothes that I'm not going to need on trail and stuff them into the gaps in the middle of my pack just to create a denser system that's not going to move around while I'm hiking. Let's go ahead and pack that up. Okay, so that brings us to the top of my pack. I like to keep my tent towards the top of the main compartment of my bag because I like to be able to get to that quickly in case the weather changes. Some people will choose to strap their tent to the outside of their bag or to put it towards the bottom. This is totally up to personal preference. I just like to have it near the top. So I have my tent separated out by the rain fly, the tent poles, and the body of the tent. And then I actually keep the stakes and the guy lines in this bag with my first aid kit. I like to put the poles down the side on the inside of my pack, but you can always choose to strap them to the outside. Again, personal preference. One more thing I want to add is that I have a reservoir in here that was already in my pack before I started loading anything up. It's a good idea to put your reservoir full of water into your pack first, so you're not trying to finagle it in with all of your gear. So that's already in my bag, and that actually does it for what goes on the inside of my pack, so I'm going to go ahead and close it up. Awesome, let's talk about the pockets. So I have a variety of things here that I put in pockets, different pockets on the outside of my pack. So first, I keep my water bottle for filtering water on the outside of my pack in one of the pockets. And then in the other pocket, I like to keep my poop kit as well as my bear spray, so it's easily accessible. And then I keep my headlamp as well as my first aid kit in the top lid of my pack so I can get to it in case I get hurt on trail. And I keep my camp shoes stuffed in the outside of my pack. Those also double as water shoes for me in case there's a stream crossing, so I like to keep them accessible. And then I'll sometimes strap them to the outside of my bag if they do get wet. And the last thing is that I keep an extra layer or warmth layers or rain, depending on the weather, in the outside of my pack as well in this pocket, which is sometimes called the shovel pocket. Again, just so I have something I can get to quickly in case the weather turns. Let's load it up. The final things that I'll keep on the outside of my pack are my cell phone, which also doubles as my camera, and some trail snacks. I just keep those in the hip belt pocket so I can get to them quickly, especially if I want to take pictures while I'm hiking. The one other thing I forgot to mention here is carrying your wallet or carrying your keys with you. Some packs will have a separate pocket that has a key fob. Just keep that stuff where you can access it when you're done with your hike, but where it's not going to get lost while you're hiking. My spork!
Okay, that's all for my review on topic of backpacking. I hope it is clear and you can understand it well. So my friend will continue with topic of orienteering. That's all from me. Thank you.
For the last activity, which is orienteering. Orienteering, known as a sport of navigation using highly detailed maps, whether you are an experienced hiker, competitive runner, or a family or group that out for activity in a park, these sports can help to improve your navigation skills. Orienteering, also a thinking sports outdoor that combines a participant mental ability and physical ability. Next, the equipment needed for orienteering, such as master map. Any kind of map may be used for orienteering, but the best ones are detailed with colors developed especially for this sport. Control flag, it has a component of high visibility item. The color is orange and white. Must be placed tally with the master map. Organizer cannot hide the flag. Control card, the control card were given at the beginning event with the map, then must be written and as a proof that participants have visited all the checkpoints in right order. The control puncher, the function is to punch holes that exist on control card. Each puncher have variety of marking holes. It also will be attached hanging with the control flag.
Okay, now let's move on to the type of orienteering. There are several types of orienteering. There are 3 types of orienteering. The first one is classic or cross-country orienteering. Second one is core orienteering, and the third one is relay orienteering. Let me explain about the cross-country or classic orienteering. The classic orienteering, the participant must follow the sequence of the checkpoint on the map. Then the winner is the person who completes the course in the shortest of time. If the checkpoint not tally with the map or wrong punch or wrong checkpoint, the penalty time will be given to the participant. So make sure you go to the checkpoint that are being marked on the map. If you don't go, you will get a penalty. That is how classic or cross-country orienteering being played. Now I'm going to explain about the score orienteering, the second one of the type of orienteering. The near the checkpoint carry a low point value. The greater distance, far distance, and more difficult to find the checkpoint, correspondingly giving you a high value of point. So this means if you go further, the more the higher the point you get in the orienteering. So 60 minutes time will be given to the participant. Time is based on the organizers. The highest score in the control card will be a winner for this competition. So to win this score orienteering, you must go further and find the further checkpoint to get more higher score. So let's go to the last type of orienteering, relay orienteering. It is the most popular team competition. Just like running, relay also got in the orienteering. The number of legs in the relay depends on the number of persons on the team. All the rules and regulations are same, just like classic or cross-country orienteering. So to play relay orienteering, you just need to focus on the rules of the classic and cross-country orienteering. The first man on the team will run with a map by follow the sequence that has been set for each team. So the first one will go first and then pass the map to the second participant, and then third, and then fourth. That's how relay orienteering being played. That is the type of orienteering. So I'm going to explain about the several categories of orienteering. There are 1. Food orienteering, where you just only meet your food. You can walk or run when participating in the orienteering. Second one is ski orienteering. You need a ski equipment to do the orienteering in the snow. The third one is night orienteering. This orienteering is more challenging because of the darkest time. So the fourth one is mountain bike orienteering. You use a mountain bike to complete your orienteering challenge. And the last one is trail orienteering. That is the several category of orienteering.
The triangle symbol is where the participations gather and start the course. The circle symbol is the control site or the checkpoint, and the double circle or a circle inside the circle are the finish symbol. These are the basic symbols in orienteering. Firstly, we have waiting zone. We start to warm up, synchronize our watch with the start clock. Then, we fill out all the details in control card. Finish warming up and stretching. When our time was called, display our number to the organizer. Organizer will give signals runs to the map zone. Next, we have map zone. Identify all the features or obstacles in the maps. Find where we are in the map. Emphasize note with red pen so that setting map is easier with a compass. Fold the map or keep it into small plastic cover. Organizer will give a signal runs to the map zone. Next, we have matter zone or the map. Organizer will give 1 minute to participants to copy the checkpoint circles on the master map. The center of each circle's symbols have control flag. Link them with a line and include the start symbol. Give back the master map to the organizer. Fill up the start time on the control card. Organizer will give a signal to start. The last one is the finish line. Make sure we follow the sequences of the finishing line. Give our control card to the organizer station. Make sure organizer fill up a finish time on our control card. Take a rest while waiting for the results. We must hand in our card when we finish the course or not finish the course.
For the rules in orienteering competition, participants shall not damage, hide or remove any control flag during an event. Next, participants may only use a compass plus the map provided by the organizer during the event. Third, participants must not cross areas marked on the map as out of bounds. Fourth, participants shall not damage property such as fence, gates or equipment. For the next one is safety step and guidelines in orienteering competition. First, participants should wear protective appropriate clothing based on current environment. Second, participants must carry a safety whistle during the event. Third, participants must report to the finish official whether they are finished the course or not. Fourth, crossing roads or railways must observe traffic rules. And the next one, organizer should provide safety briefing information to all participants. And the last one is benefits of orienteering. First, it can build self-confidence, improve map reading, provides mental challenge, provides physical challenge, improve navigation skill, and the last one, it can improve health and skill-related fitness.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Mama Aisar bin Cik ROUSE, metric number 2019-493-802, and I'm from RSR1114B. I'm from Faculty of Sports Science and Recreation, UiTM, Arau Perlis. Now, I'm gonna make a topic review of kayaking in outdoor recreation. So, enjoy it. First of all, let me tell you a little bit about the story of kayak. Developed by indigenous Arctic peoples who utilize the boat for hunting and for transport. They use the boat to find animals in the river such as fish or any else. They also use the kayak for transport to go to anywhere. The original structure consists of a timber frame wrapped in animal hides. They use animal skin and wrap it to the wooden and make a kayak. John McGregor, known as the father of modern kayak, pioneered the use of kayak from daily activities to competition and recreational pursuit. John McGregor made modern kayak become more famous in major sport and used for recreational pursuit in this modern era. What is kayak? So, kayak is small human-powered boat covered with a deck and one or more cockpit, each of which sits one paddler using a double-bladed paddle. A spray that protects the interior of the boat by covering the cockpit. Native Ainu, Aleut and Eskimo mostly use this kayak, as most famous region such as is in Northern Eastern Asia, North America and Greenland devise and use this kayak first. for hunting. I'm gonna tell you about the type of kayak. There are so many types of kayak in this world. The first one is Mandesta. Mandesta is a V shape in the lower part of the kayak. Easier to cut the water and move at speed on straight line and trails. Mostly used in some sport because the V shape make it easier to cut the water and make it more faster. Then other one is Otter Sport. Otter Sport is U-shaped and also flat. This is more stable kayak than the others one. The kayak is mostly used for the beginners and it is suitable for those who is just starting in kayak because the U-shape or flat make it more stable and make it easier to handle the kayak. The third one is Slalom. Slalom is an O-shaped kayak. This type of boat is always used in fast current. The shape make it easy to do Eskimo roll technique. Slalom mostly used by single person because it only have one cockpit. It is easier for someone who want to use it for recreational and also in more major sport in kayak.
This is a several example of another types of kayak. There are recreational kayak, tandem kayaks, inflatable kayak, fishing kayak, whitewater kayak and also touring kayak. Now, let's continue with the anatomy of kayak. There are several parts of kayak that you need to know. The first one is hull and deck. The hull of a kayak primarily located at bottom front of kayak. Deck is simply the top half of your kayak. Number 2 is cockpit. The cockpit is the opening in the deck of your kayak that allows you to sit inside. Number 3 is coaming, or we call it as a cockpit rim. The coaming is edging around the cockpit. Number 4 is grab handle or carrying handle. Pretty much all kayak will have 2 grab handle, one on each end of the kayak, on the bow and the stern part of kayak. Number 5 is seat. Kayak come with a wide array of seat options. Some are built-in, removable, soft and cushion, or hard and rigid. Number 6 is deck hatch. Most sea kayak have 2 to 3 hatches. They are sealed with rubber hatch covers to keep the water out. Number 7 is deck lines. You will see a variety of ropes and cords on the top of many kayak. Number 8 is port side, or we call it left side, and the right side we call it as a starboard. Number 9 is bow, the front of the kayak, and stern, the rear or part of the kayak. That is the anatomy of kayak.
Now I'm gonna tell you about the type of kayak paddles. There are 2 types of kayak paddles. The first one is asymmetrical and the second one is symmetrical. Asymmetrical kayak paddles strike the water at shallow angle, and the asymmetric design allow it to get deeper in the water and give more force to the kayak. Asymmetrical paddles commonly used for touring paddlers. For the symmetrical paddles, a symmetrical blade is one that is symmetrical around the shaft and has the same shape on both sides. These blades are easier to use and perform well for novice or for paddling with fewer mistakes, regardless of which way you hold the paddle. Now, I'm going to show you the difference between the asymmetrical and symmetrical paddles.
These are the difference between asymmetrical and symmetrical kayak paddle. They are different between the length of the paddle and also the size of the blade of the kayak paddles. Now I'm gonna show you the anatomy of kayak paddle. That is a blade, a drip rings, a shaft and also a ferrule. There also a handle for the kayakers to hold the paddle.
While kayaking, don't forget about your safety in the water. So what you need, if you need a safety in the water, you need a personal floating device, a life jacket, life preserver, buoyancy aid or flotation suit is a type of flotation personal floating device, or we call it as a PFD. This is a piece of gear that helps the wearer stay afloat in the water. The wearer may or may not be aware of his or her surroundings. PFDs come in a variety of sizes to fit differently body weight, so don't forget to use your personal floating device. Now, let's move on to the rescue technique in kayak. There are 3 types of rescue technique in kayak. The first one is X rescue, or we call it as a T rescue. The next one is H rescue, and the last one is HI rescue. The X rescue is one of the easiest kayak rescue technique. It is mostly for the single kayak to help the another single kayakers who is capsizing their kayak. I'm going to show you the video on how to the step of doing the X rescue or T rescue. Watch it.
Paddling with a friend isn't just more fun, it also makes getting back into your kayak a whole lot easier. Here's a quick look at the steps. Make a T with your kayaks, flip your boat, position the kayak's bow to stern, pull yourself onto your kayak, and get back in. Alright, that looked easy, but let's break down the process. Once you're out, get a hold of your paddle and head to the stern of your boat, while the rescuer brings their kayak perpendicular to its bow. When you're both in position, you'll push down on the stern of the kayak, and the rescuer will lift it onto the deck of their kayak to drain the water, and then flip it back upright. The rescuer can now maneuver your kayak next to theirs, bow to stern, and get the paddles out of the way. The rescuer will hold the front of the empty boat's cockpit and lean over hard to stabilize both boats. It's important for them to stay low. Reach across the deck of your kayak and grab a hold of the cockpit coaming or deck lines and climb onto the rear deck of the boat. Once you're on board, stay low and keep your weight balanced between both kayaks. Then swivel until you can slide your legs into the cockpit. This whole time the rescuer will be leaning over and stabilizing your boat. Once your legs are inside, slide back into the seat, pump out any leftover water, and secure your spray skirt. All that's left is to grab your paddle and keep on adventuring. Make sure to practice both roles in the T-rescue technique. To learn how to wet exit a kayak or do a self-rescue, check out these videos, or click here to find a class near you.
That is how X rescue technique being performed. Now, let's go to the second one is H rescue. Some rescue techniques such as the T rescue or X rescue will only require a single kayaker to accomplish the rescue technique. The H rescue will necessitate the use of 2 kayakers to rescue kayak. The H rescue is fantastic since it can be performed on any style of kayak including recreational and pedal power kayak. How to do the H rescue kayak? H rescue technique in kayak. The first step is closer the proximity between the 2 rescue kayak and the capsized kayak. The next one, after that, the capsized kayak is transferred onto the 2 kayak. You can drain the water out of the kayak by rocking it from side to side. Place the kayak in the water and assist the kayakers in getting back on the capsizing kayak. That's how we perform the H rescue kayak. The last rescue technique in kayak is HI rescue technique. The HI is a useful rescue technique if you have 2 kayaks to help. The step to do the HI rescue is both rescuing kayak must approach closer to the capsizing kayak. The 2 rescuing kayak should approach each other and place their paddle over the gap between them. The capsized kayak is then raised and held on the paddle between the 2 kayaks. 2 rescue kayakers will then rock the capsized kayak to make sure the water is out from the kayak, and that's how we do the HI rescue technique in kayak. Now let's go to the next chapter of in kayak is paddling technique in kayak. There are 6 paddling technique. The first one is forward stroke, back stroke, alternate combination 360 degree stroke, forward sweep, back sweep, and also draw stroke. The first one is forward stroke. In kayaking, this is the most common paddle stroke. The forward paddle stroke begins in front of you, continues parallel to the boat and ends behind you. It is the primary forward moving paddle stroke. Same the forward stroke is same as the back stroke. The backward paddle stroke begins at the back of the boat and ends in front of you, running parallel to the boat. It's the most common paddle stroke for going backward. Now let's move on to the forward sweep and back sweep. When paddling down a rapid or surfing a wave, the forward sweep is the paddle stroke used to create a spin or a turn. It's same just like forward sweep and back sweep is same. It is also used to help steer the boat. Its broad, low paddle stroke can be utilized to maneuver the boat while stationary or moving. That's how we perform the forward sweep and also the backward sweep. Let's move on to the next paddling technique, alternate combination 360 degree stroke. It is the primary paddle stroke used in kayaking to complete a full rotation of 360 degree. The steps to perform an alternate combination 360 stroke are as follows. On the right side of the kayak, use a double forward stroke paddle technique. Then on the left side of the kayak, make a double backward stroke. The last paddling technique is draw stroke. A draw stroke is the paddle stroke used to move your boat sideways. The basic concept of the draw stroke is that we can use the paddle placed out in the water parallel with the side of the boat to pull our boat sideways. You use to make sure your boat move sideways. That is the paddling technique in kayak. Same like a car, kayak also have its signals. The first signal is stop signal. How you perform stop signal? You just need to turn your paddle horizontally and then raise it up above your head. The emergency signal is you turn over your paddle vertically and then wave it. Raise and wave it to the back and forth or right or left to ask for a help. Now, for the all clear or go signal, you just need to turn your paddle vertically and then raise it up high, and then it's the signal for all clear and go. And the last one is I'm okay. How you perform I'm okay signal? You just need to put your hand up on top of your head and then pat it just like this. That means you are okay and ready to go. That is how the signals in kayak. In football, we have the formation of 4-3-3, 4-4-2, 3-5-2. That's the formation in football. But in kayak, we just have 4 types of formation. The first one is diamond formation, where you make a diamond shape while you kayaking with others. The next formation is single line, where you just follow the leaders behind. And the next one is double line formation, where you kayak side by side. And the last one is a breast formation. That is the formation in kayak. There are also safety tips before you involve in kayak. The first one is don't paddle by yourself. Make sure you have someone to accompany you to involve in kayak. Next is wear the life jacket or the personal floating device in a proper way to make sure you yourself safe in the water. The next one is identify the weather. You need to have a good weather before you go kayaking. Don't kayak in such a rainy day or storm because it may be dangerous to you. Always adhere to the local boating regulation. Make sure to follow the rules. The rules is important. The rules in the water is important for you to make sure yourself is safe in water and while kayaking. That's the safety tip in kayak.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is ASHRAFF bin AZMI from RSR1114B, and today I will continue to talk about axling. Axling is a technique for descending something using a rope, whether it's a rock face we have climbed or a skyscraper whose windows we are cleaning. It's a faster, controlled and secure way to descend. It's similar to climbing in that how safe it is determined by the level of protection we use. Climbers, mountaineers, cavers, search and rescue personnel, and rope access technicians use this technique to design cliffs or slopes that are too dangerous or too risky to descend without safety equipment. This method is commonly used by climbers to protect established anchors from damage. Rope access technicians use it to get access to difficult areas from above for a variety of industrial applications such as maintenance, construction, inspection, and welding. Major Friedrich Roche around 1944 is recognized as the founder of the phrase rappel in reference to the technique. Jean Carlet Stratton, a chemist's guide who lived from 1840 to 1925, was involved in developing the axling technique. During a failed solo attempt of Petit Dreux by Carlet in 1876, the technique was discovered by him. To the abseiling work, we are attached to the rope in some way during abseiling, and the rope is attached to the top of the cliff, crack, or drop. We can alter the friction between ourselves and the rope in some way. When there is a lot of friction, the movement downwards becomes slow or non-existent. Because there is no friction, gravity will work as if the rope does not exist. We will be in the middle of everything. A climbing harness and something to create friction are required for normal abseiling. Our rope should be similar to the rope used for rock climbing. The harness is in the same category. These are the examples of the climbing harness. Although static rope is preferable, dynamic rope is frequently used. Static rope has a low elasticity and is designed to stretch very slightly when under load, usually less than 5%. Static ropes are important in a lot of circumstances, including fire rescue operations and caving. Dynamic rope is a greater elasticity and it helps a dynamic rope to absorb the energy of high load more slowly, such as slowing a climber's fall by reducing the peak force on the rope and decreasing the risk of major collapse. The most common type of dynamic rope nowadays is a incremental rope. Since 1945, nylon has replaced all the natural materials in climbing rope due to its superior durability and strength. These are the examples of the static rope. And these are the examples of the dynamic rope. There are three types of categories. Single ropes are the most frequent and are used for top roping, sport climbing, and thread climbing. Twin and half ropes are used for lead climbing and are designed to be used as a pair. Anchors are usually constructed from trees, boulders, ice, or rope features, and attached using webbing or rock climbing gear. Fixed anchors such as bowls or pythons are found in some areas. These are the examples of the climbing anchors. A descender is a friction device or friction hitch that allows rope to be played out under weight in a controlled way with little effort on the part of the person controlling it. Climbing harnesses are worn around the waist or the entire body to keep the descender secure. A friction hitch, such as a Prusik, climb has node or auto block node, is wrapped around the rope as a safety backup to avoid uncontrolled descents. This is the example of the descender device. These are the examples of the belay device. Helmets are used to protect the head from hitting rocks and impacts. The glove hands are protected from the rope and from hitting with the wall by wearing gloves. By being stuck in the descender, the chance of an accident may increases. Climbing boots or climbing shoes are used to increase the amount of friction against the rock. Knee pads and elbow pads were used to protect the legs and hands from the high impacts. These are the example of the abseiling helmet. These are the example of the abseiling glove. And these are the example of the abseiling boot. This is the example of the knee pads and elbow pads. Abseiling rappel is used by the military. The abseiler falls with their back to the ground, allowing them to see where they are going. Next we have tandem abseiling. Often known as spider abseiling, is a climbing technique. Two climbers use the same belay device to descend. When one of the climbers is incapacitated or the descent must be completed swiftly, this is very helpful. Next we have rappelling or simultaneously rappelling. It is used for climbing. Two climbers descend on the same length of rope at the same time, with one climber's weight counterbalancing the other. The technique is generally considered less safe than normal rappelling, yet it can be useful in an emergency. Next we have counterbalance abseiling. It is used in climbing. A leader will often use this rescue technique to reach an injured second. The leader abseils of one strand of rope, utilizing the weight of the incapacitated second on the other as a counterweight. Next we have releasable abseil, used by guides. A leader can descend with inexperienced abseilers using this safety technique. A mantle mule hitch is used to attach a rope that is about twice the length of the descent. The client descends on a single strand of rope that is separated. If the client becomes stuck halfway down, the guide can use the hitch as a belay device, unlock the other strand and bring the client to the ground. Next we have the classical. Is used for emergencies. This technique are more risky than modern ones, and they should only be used when there are no other options. They involve descending without the use of mechanical gear by wrapping the rope around the body, and they were used before harnesses and other hardware. South African classical abseil is used in emergencies. This is a standard abseil in which the user has an extra hand. And lastly, we have fireman's belay. It is used as a safety backup. On the ground below, a partner holds the rope. If the abseiler starts to fall, they will be able to stop the descent by pulling down on the rope.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is NURIN and HAYAT binti NAZRI. Matrix number 2019647242. So today, I will introduce about survival.
Survival is the act of surviving or to continue exist on Earth. This actually happens when a person faces difficulties in a situation such as accident, ordeal, or difficult circumstances. They will going life through a dangerous situations in which was possible that they might die.
Rules and regulations, which is stay calm, get a right dressing, and then bring your light bag, your medical aid, and other necessary items.
Here, when we are surviving in the unknown area, of course we will facing a problems. Problems will always occur whenever you are surviving. So here, I will share a method to all of you. Stop is a method when an unexpected situation occurs. It stands for S. Stop moving and take a break when realizing a problem. T. Think about how to survive as you think the list of basic needs and what to do first. O. Observe the area and look for the shelter, fuel, and find resources. P. Plan to use your survival kit and another available resources. Don't wait until dark.
Next, for the rules of tree survival, which is humans can survive within 3 minutes without oxygen or in icy water. Human can survive within 3 hours without shelter unless in an icy water. And then, human also can survive within 3 days without if sheltered from a harsh environment. Last, human can survive within 3 weeks without food if they have a shelter and water.
In jungle or anywhere, we could see the unknown plant that we never see. In surviving, we can make a test on taste of the plant that we can eat, usually when we don't have enough food to continue surviving. So now,
next, how to identify the edible plants by 4 steps. First step, which is place a piece of plant in your inner elbow and then wait for a few minutes. As your skin feel burning, itchy or feel numb, don't eat it. The second step, which is touch the plant on your lips to test for burning or itching. The third step, which is if passes the lip test, and then you will continue on your and put it on your mouth and then wait for 15 seconds. If you feel a bitter and soapy, spit it out. If you eat a small plant within 8 hours and then there is no ill reactions, you can continue eat the plant again for 8 hours again to wait for the reactions. And then if no ill reactions again, you can conclude that the food is safe to be eaten.
types of edible plants, which is clover, dandelion, seaweed, chicory, amaranth, burdock, cattail, and the last one is pennycress.
In survival, there are 4 types of campfire. First, tepi, the simplest and easiest one. Second, lean-to. Lean-to is sheltered and good for bad weather. And then, log cabin, low maintenance and slow burning. The last one is star, minimal wood and slower burner.
We cannot escape the risk when surviving despite of facing the risk. Just imagine that you are lost in jungle and do not know what kind of animal will attack you. So, must be essential to have a knowledge in surviving. The disease risks that occur while surviving is water allergies, snake bite, dengue, leptospirosis. Another survival skills basics that need to be developed in each person, such as fire. Fire is the king of survival techniques that can purify water, cook food, signal rescues, provide warmth, light, and comfort. Next, shelter. To protect your body from excess exposure from the sun, cold, wind, rain, or snow. The third one, signaling, to give you the means and ability to alert any and all potential rescuers that you are in need of help. The fourth, skills, food and water. Always assume that you will need extra food and water when you plan your trip. The last basic skills, which is first aid. Do not panic, remain calm, and do what you have to do to take care of yourself. Everything's happen must have their advantages and disadvantages. So now, I will share a little bit about the advantages. First, wilderness survival can reduce our stress level. Second, raise awareness on our environmental problem. Third, learn how to survive in case of emergency. The last one is improve emotional stability. Disadvantages of survival is first, wilderness survival can be costly. Second, you may get lost if no knowledge about survival. Third, problematic in areas with quiet toxic animals. And the last one is survival costs can be time consuming. I will share about some tools that should always have in your pack. First, 5-starter, survival knife, topographic map, compass, first aid kit, emergency survival, whistle, paracord, water filtrations, flashlight or headlamp, tarp, signal mirror, space blanket, spot locator, a dry bag or a sack, and glove. Here, I have attached the video about some activity during survival.
Most dangerous animals. I'm gonna get my water and get out of here. But I can't drink straight from the lake. It's full of hippo feces and probably teeming with parasites. So I'm going to filter it, Maasai style. Digging a well below lake level causes water to pass through sediment, filtering out large parasites. It's ingenious, but it takes time. Eventually, water filters through. Having filled my Maasai bottle, or ingri, I now have drinking water for the rest of the day. The day is coming to an end. I need to make a fire before it gets dark. I'm using a traditional method called a hand drill. And now for the secret weapon, elephant dung. The dung surrounds the hot coal with fuel. Yeah, we have fire. We have fire. Very, very, very good news.